Hello and welcome to this episode of Focus On with me, Keamogetse Mosepele. McDonald's South Africa is committed to creating a positive social impact and enriching the lives of communities through their Together Mzansi initiative. And this is why the organization has embarked on their mobile barber service, which will see the McDonald's SA team visiting the Andries Meyer Old Age Home in Eldorado Park, a region in the south of Johannesburg, South Africa, to provide free haircuts to residents. Now joining us for more on this is Sechaba Muzielwa, Marketing Director at McDonald's SA. Mr. Muzielwa, sir, thank you so much for joining us. Just starting right into it, or getting right into it, why the initiative or the choice to go about this initiative and give away free haircuts?
Thank you very much, and thanks for having us here from Together Mzansi at McDonald's. So Together Mzansi is a platform that says there's no us without you. It is where we have community-based initiatives come together for us to make an impact in community. So the mobile barber initiative that you just spoke about, it's an initiative where we are supporting an entrepreneur who sought to bring dignity back to people through haircuts. Basic as it may sound, but the ability to give people who will otherwise see hair cutting as a luxury, an opportunity to cut their hair, and they go to a lot of underprivileged communities to give this service.
Now, your Together Mzansi initiative expands further than this mobile service or mobile barber service. Just tell us a little bit more about the kind of conceptualization that went into this initiative and why your organization deems it as an important work.
From McDonald's perspective, it's important that we add and create value in the communities where our restaurants are. We have about 380 restaurants around the country, and each community has its own nuanced needs. At a national level, we then try to say which of these initiatives are able to have a much bigger impact to those communities. So at the moment, there are about 6 of them. We do have initiatives around the Ronald McDonald's House charities, the mobile barber that we are talking about. Then we have Job Enabled, that allows people that are differently challenged to be able to be trained to access the job opportunities and job environment. We have the computer bus that is down in KZN that allows different schools to also be introduced to computers. And of course, as I said, when we embarked on an initiative on Together Mzansi, there is no us without you. It was an acknowledgement that as a business, we cannot thrive if the communities where we have our restaurants do not thrive. So it is a platform that pulls all these initiatives together, not only to showcase what is happening at the ground level, but also to inspire other businesses to do the same.
Mm-hmm. And just also expanding on what you've said, going back to the communities, how does this align with your mission as McDonald's South Africa?
So as McDonald's South Africa, community is a very important part of who we are, because as I said, it is about making sure that you not only create communities, but you also add value to those communities through whether it's the employment, but more specifically having an appreciation and understanding of the needs that happen in each community. So when you conceptualize something like Together Mzansi, you need to make sure that it's all inclusive, that it allows for easy access to the brand, and for the brand to also have the relationship, as I said, that goes to and fro with all the communities.
Mm-hmm. And just also in your work, what has been the response from particularly this Andries Meyer Old Age Home? What has been their thoughts on you guys going about putting this initiative out?
You know, when you are on the ground and you actually see somebody before they have the haircut, and you take a picture, the so-called before and the after, and you speak to them, you'll feel the energy a little bit low before the haircut as they look at themselves in the mirror. And then afterwards, they look at themselves and they say, this reminds me of the fact that I'm smiling inside, I'm still alive. And so it was when we went to visit them. They felt that they are seen as members of society, that they are still included and also respected. And that's what I think it's important when we take dignity back to people. The mobile barber moves by definition, So we are not always the data center. We do go to others, but they always look forward to the time when we get back to visit them so that they can get their hair cut. And most importantly, the smile and the dignity as to how they look, both inside and outside.
So as you've emphasized the importance of this initiative, what does the future of it look like? What are some of the aims you have in place to increase that impact that you're speaking of?
I think increasing impact from Mobile Barber, as well as all the other initiatives, is about scaling. Scaling meaning being able to replicate what we are doing and doing it in more communities, but also at the same time, as I said, being sensitive to what are the specific needs of each community, our ability to support, especially people that are already doing things on the ground. Mobile Barber, as I said, is an initiative that's done by an independent person that we are supporting with some of the logistics so that they are able to get to more communities. We are hoping that each community will emphasize what is specific to them. There are communities where, for example, literacy is quite key. With our book initiatives, we'll be able to donate more books to them and support them with the books. The other one is going to be things that we have not even thought of, especially when you go into new communities, but being able to be responsive to those communities.
And what would you say to those who are tuning in, or people that are interested in partnering and, putting themselves forward for an initiative like this?
Sometimes it's about supporting what is already happening there. So from McDonald's perspective, what we're trying to do is to become the touch point for communities. Sometimes it's asking the restaurant manager to say, what are some of the needs that you have identified in this community? So for people that can help, can get those type of insights to be able, at least in the trading area, to see what is the need that is required. The other thing is sharing of best practices. How else did we scale and do something without sometimes having to incur huge costs, but allowing different businesses to collaborate? So identify who else is already working, find how you can collaborate with others. In the space that we operate in, particularly at the community level, it's not about competition, it's about cooperation, finding who else is already having an impact. Let's take something around Job Enabled. Job Enabled is a platform where businesses can go and see which of the people is now ready for employment, and then they can go and employ people, particularly, as I said, the differently abled people. So for us as McDonald's, having proven the case that people that have gone through our training, particularly in the quick service restaurants, are able to actually work in a very challenging environment, it gives that window of opportunity on Job Enabled for people to actually also know that they can go there and support.
I'm also interested in the choice for this particular region. McDonald's as a brand is a multinational corporation, but within South Africa, you have so many locations across the country. Why the particular choice to, implement this initiative in Eldorado Park?
So you start somewhere by identifying the different communities. One of those could be where you start. But as I said, because Mobile Barber is already functioning and moves around youth centers, centers like where you've got the elderly population. So it moves around, but it's but one of the different centers that we are able to touch through Mobile Barber throughout the year. So it's moving around. It's not the first time that we go to visit the centers. We're just reminding everybody that there's good that happens in the different communities, despite sometimes the gloom and doom that happens, that corporations and brands that are really invested in the well-being and the success of communities go out of their way to support what is already happening there. So it is national. As I said, when you go to KZN, you'll find us supporting the computer bars. When you go to here, we've got the Mobile Barber. If you go to the Nelson Mandela Children's Hospital, we have the Ronald McDonald's House. This is a place where we give families that have got their children at a long extended stay in hospitals to be able to stay there for free throughout the treatment of their children. So RMHC allows us to raise funds to support such an initiative so that parents can focus on the healing of the children and themselves rather than having to worry about what is it that they could do to feed themselves and where they're going to stay. So different regions, as I say, require different things. For us on the Together Mzansi platform is to allow all our initiatives to be aggregated into one platform so that we can have a much bigger impact.
And I'm also interested in how you've mapped out the different outreach programs that you have. They're quite layered. It goes beyond just an interpersonal approach like giving out a haircut, but you also enable skills training, which is so important within the context of the country. What would you say is some of the support you would need to further initiatives like this?
I start with the very simple ones. If you are at one of our restaurants, there will always be a button on what you call self-ordering kiosk to donate 5 rand. And these are the funds, as I said, they go to RMHC to be able then to put it into the kitty to support the Ronald McDonald's house that is on top of Nelson Mandela Children's Hospital. For the other businesses, as I said, it's about not competing, especially when you come into spaces where you impact communities, about working together and collaborating and cooperating. And also different regions being able to highlight what their specific needs so that we can then well work together. For us from McDonald's and Together Mzansi, it is about, as I said, there is no us without you. It's about all inclusive. Let's pull together and see what we can do to impact society. As a country and as a people, we always need and have always expressed Ubuntu, the oneness that allows us to see our humanity beyond everything else. And that's why I said it's important that we come together with other people.
Well, I can certainly agree that it's always good to hear good news stories like this of imparting positive impact across the board. And that's unfortunately where we have to conclude our conversation. A special thanks to my guest, Mr. Sechaba Mutsielo, Marketing Director at McDonald's SA, giving us more on the Together Mzansi initiative. From me, Giamogetse Mosipele, it's goodbye for now.